How to fire your boss in 2023, and you can start today. I feel that a lot of people want to be financially free. They want to have time freedom, but they don't know how to go about doing it. And as somebody who has been a full-time entrepreneur since 2009, as somebody who helps other women out there become full-time entrepreneurs, I feel like I have a perspective that would really help you. Now, I know that fire your boss is something that people talk about in the industry a lot. However, I want to give you some practical tips today, and we're going to talk about what I believe is the most important thing when it comes to you being able to transition from being a side hustler, and saying, listen, I want this to be my career. I want to become a CEO. I want to own a company, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So who is this for? This is specifically for someone who is a 9-to-5 bosspreneur, okay? Bosspreneurs are people who, you have a 9-to-5 job, but you're also growing a business on the side. And you would love it if your business can replace your job, right? But this can also help a full-time entrepreneur because, like I said, we're going to talk about some practical things. And I believe that if there are any gaps in your system right now, this video will actually help you in what we're going to talk about. Okay. So here's how I know this can happen. Number one, if you have a plan, this can happen. And today, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the numbers, the money, the thing that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but it's exactly what you need to talk about if you want to be able to fire your boss in 2023, right? So number one, you need to have a plan. It can happen, but you need a plan. Number two, you need commitment. All right. And this one is important because a lot of people, they'll take the time to build out a plan, but they're not committed to the plan. And this happens a lot to people who are in corporate jobs or who have a 9-to-5 or who have some sort of support. And I'm talking because I know this, I've lived this, right? Sometimes when you have the job, it can be your crutch, right? It can be your crutch. And it's like you build out these plans and you say that every day you're going to work these plans, but you're not really committed to the plan. And you really don't have to be because it is not your source of income. You have a job, you have support, and that's a good thing, right? And let me just do a disclaimer here because I know there's a big thing in the education space where people make you feel like you need to leave your job or you aren't a real entrepreneur. That's not true. And I don't believe that. Okay. I truly believe that you need to be ready when you do it and you need to think clearly when you make this move. However, yes, there are times when you use this as a crutch. And so you are not committed on the plans and the goals that you have set, right? So one, you need a plan. Two, you need commitment. And then three, you go hard. You got to go hard. Once you create the plan and you make up your mind that this is something you're going to do and you're committed to seeing it through, you got to go hard. Okay. And we're talking about firing your boss in 2023. The day that I'm recording this right now, we are in September of 2022. So that means that we are going to be ending this year. We're going to be entering a new year. And if you really want this to happen next year for yourself, then you're going to really want to pay attention to what we're going to talk about in this video. Okay. So let's start with number one. The first thing you want to do is calculate how much money you need to make. And I always say this, how much money do you need to make to feel free? So there is a exercise that I do. It's called the freedom figure process. And it's absolutely free. I want to offer you, if you're watching this video, I want to offer it to you for free. You'll find it somewhere around this video. But when you download this spreadsheet, you'll follow the math that I have in the spreadsheet. You'll put in all your information in terms of your expenses and your responsibilities, your vacation, all the things, all right? It comes with a training and everything. It shows you exactly how to find your freedom figure. You're going to want to do that, all right? And you don't want to guess. You want to calculate. Okay, somebody put that in the comments below if you're listening to me. Don't guess, calculate. A lot of times entrepreneurs would say, oh, I want to make $1,000 a month, or I want to make $10,000 a month. It's like, where did you get that number? Did you just pull it out of a hat? Because you really need to be intentional behind these goals that you're setting. So don't guess. calculate. Use the freedom figure, the spreadsheet, to calculate your freedom figure. How much money do you need to make to be free? The next thing is be very clear on your wants and your goals when you're doing this exercise. And this is another thing, again, when you look at the training, it's absolutely free. It's going to help you. And I'm going to talk about this a little deeper, but you really want to be clear on what you want when you do this exercise, when you put your numbers in, so you can really come up with a number that feels good, that's going to, take care of all your bills, but that's also going to stretch you. It got to be a little bit unbelievable. That's going to stretch you, because you don't want to just make what you make at work now. You want to replace it and double it and triple it, right? So really be clear on your wants and your goals. And then you want to build a plan to reach that number. Okay, so we're still on number one, which is calculate how much money that you want to make. Don't guess, calculate, be clear on your wants and your goals, and then build a plan to reach that number. So for this example, we're going to use the number of 300,000, and I'm going to be doing some math on my notebook here. All right, because I told you this was going to be very practical, where you can actually see how this stuff is done. Okay, so we're going to write out $300,000. Now, of course, this can be done in a couple of ways, and I am going to tell you all about my Plan a Profit experience, where we'll dig deeper into this. But for the sake of me wanting to keep this video short, let's just go in one way. All right, so number one, you calculate how much money you need to make. And after you did that exercise, what you came up with is you want to make $300,000. That's what you want to make over the next year. Okay. So then the second thing you want to do is you want to ask yourself, what is this amount comes up to in your monthly sales? So how is this broken down monthly, right? Because we're talking about firing your boss in 2023. So we're talking about over a 12-month period, okay? And again, if you're watching this video and you're used to me, then you know right now we are promoting the Plan a Profit experience. So I'm talking all about planning, right? But if you're new to me, then pay attention, because this is gonna change your whole entire life and your whole entire outlook on what's really possible for you over a 12-month period, right? So you're going with 300,000. You want to break this down into months. If you break this down into months, then what you come up with is $25,000. Okay. So $25,000 is how much you need to make every month to be able to reach this goal for the year. Okay. And so then step 3 is, how many sales do you need to make to reach this $25,000? So this is going to vary depending on how much your services are, how much your program is, right? And so for this example, we're going to say that our program is $5,000, right? And so let's write that down, $5,000, okay? And so with a program that's $5,000, we're going to need at least 5 people every month to make sure that we hit our goal of $25,000. Are you following me so far? And let's say you have a payment plan. Let's say your payment plan is, $1,000 a month, right? Then you're going to need to have, at least 20 people, 25 people there to be in your program to be able to ensure that you make $25,000 for the month. Does that make sense? Okay, so you see, as you start to think this through and you start to think about the numbers, you start to see the numbers, you realize that, wow, this is actually pretty doable, right? Like if I need 5 people a month, then I just need to build a plan. And that's actually number 4, map out a plan so that way you can reach the number of sales that you need, right? So for this example, we're going to stick with saying that it's just to make the math easy. We're going to say that you need, your program is $5,000 paid in full. You only have paid in full as the option. We're making this example easy. And so that means you need 5 clients a month to be able to make $25,000, right? And so if you wanted to leave your job over the next year, you would need to map out a plan that will help you get 5 clients a month. And that is those are the exact steps that you're going to want to take if you want to be in a position to fire your boss in 2023. Okay, now I want you to take the resources that I have around this video. I'm going to give you the freedom figure exercise, and I'm also going to give you my sales calculator. So that way you could plug in your services, plug in your products, plug in your coaching program, courses, whatever it is, plug it into that spreadsheet. You're getting 2 spreadsheets from me. You're going to plug it into the spreadsheet, and you're going to come up with your freedom figure. You're going to calculate the sales that you need. And so that way you can have a plan. You can map out a plan to reach these goals over the next year. Now, if you would like support in doing this, right now, our doors for the Plan a Profit experience is open, okay? So you will work with my team and I for 90 days where we go through 3 phases. Phase 1 is your plan. We will map out your entire plan. Now, we're talking about firing your boss in 2023, but I told you in the beginning that if you are somebody who's a full-time entrepreneur, you've already seen how this is valuable for you as well if you're not reaching your profit goals and you have no plan in place to be able to do that, right? So in phase 1, it's all about the planning, and we map out your 12-month plan. In phase 2, it's prep, because it's not only about planning, you also now have to prep all the pieces, the moving parts that you need. This is the one thing that's missing out of a lot of programs in the industry. This is the part that majority of coaches and strategists like me leave you to do alone. I don't. So in phase 2, we're going to go through the prep phase. And then in phase 3 is the produce phase. Okay, so that's when you will meet me at one of my 5 cities. I'm going on a tour, 5 cities, where you will produce content with myself and my team. And so again, we have laid this out where if you are a 9-to-5 boarspreneur, your life can look extremely different over the next year, as well as if you are a full-time entrepreneur, but you are looking to put a plan in place to ensure that you are able to drive profits over the next year, then the Plan to Profit experience is for you. So I hope that this video was useful. If you have any questions regarding what we talked about in this video, feel free to leave it below. I want to start answering questions in my videos. I want to start doing some more videos like this. All of my videos are really stand up, kind of like, you know, using the teleprompter teaching, but this is what I like too. Actually, I like this style teaching even more. So if you have any questions at all, leave it below, okay? And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'll see you in the next one.